Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Today is the first day of February of 2014. I'm Holly Seiler, leading our news tonight. A Fairbanks apartment fire that killed 2 people also severely injured a 17-year-old boy. Jessica Groppel said that the injured teen was her son, Connor Groppel. Connor was allegedly visiting friends when the fire broke out Wednesday morning. The boy ran down 3 flights of stairs to escape the burning building on Garrity Street on the west side of the city. He suffered 4th-degree burns and was flown to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. He remains in the burn unit's intensive care section, but is no longer in critical condition. A controversial plan for a subdivision in Fairbanks has been withdrawn after the borough and the appellants decided to settle without going to court. A local veterinarian appealed a Fairbanks North Star Borough plan to approve a subdivision of 115 residential lots and a school site on more than 600 acres in North Pole. The appellant, citing air pollution and building density concerns, eventually appealed to the Alaska Superior Court to stop the plan. The Fairbanks North Star Borough has now withdrawn the plan, and the opponents have withdrawn their lawsuit. The state trooper who was at the center of investigations looking at whether former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin abused her power has left the force. Trooper Mike Wooten's state employment ended on Wednesday, but the reason for his departure was not disclosed. Wooten went through a bitter divorce with Palin's sister and was the target of complaints from Palin and her family starting in 2005, before she became governor. After her election in 2006, Palin's husband Todd and aides pressured her public safety commissioner and others to fire Wooten. 2 investigations examined whether Palin had abused her power by firing her public safety commissioner after Wooten stayed on the job. One found she did, and the other found she did not. Education was once again at the forefront of the legislative discussion in week 2 of the session. Senate Democrats, led by Senator Berta Gardner of Anchorage, talked about their core educational values at their weekly press availability. She said they were happy to see the governor adopt their position on the elimination of the high school exit exam. She said, however, his proposal for the base student allocation increase would not provide schools with the resources necessary to properly educate the state's children. Gardner said she is introducing her $404 plus inflation plan.
We're really pleased that the governor has finally seen the light there, although his proposal is measly. We have a ledge research report that says the loss of buying power for school districts over these 4 years of flat funding is about $404 per student. And we propose to bring that up to date. We also have a legislative finance projection that the buying power loss in the coming 8 years is about 3.5% a year.
Red ticket cans have been distributed across Alaska as today marks the beginning of the 49th state's famous guessing game. Nenana Ice Classic tickets will go on sale locations around Alaska. It's $2.50 to guess when the ice will break on the Tanana River in Nenana. The contest, which is now in its 98th year, typically ends in either April or May, but with recent warm temperatures, this could be the earliest drop of the tripod on record. Last year's sole winners Warren and Yvonne Snow of Kenai walked away with a little over $300,000 for their May 20th guess. Mining is one of the most important industries in Alaska and one of the slowest to develop because of permits that must be obtained. Members of Alaska's congressional delegation say despite this, America's foreign mineral dependence has risen significantly, in some cases threatening our economy and security. Senator Lisa Murkowski said the U.S. is ranked last in the world in permitting delays, which often halt the development of new and needed mines. This week, the Energy and Natural Resources Committee discussed Senator Murkowski's Critical Minerals Policy Act of 2013. She took agency officials to task for slow progress on measures that have been submitted for review.
Are you saying that nobody within the department has really had an opportunity to review and to be able to then provide comment?
You know, critical materials is an area that the department and our interagency task force takes very seriously. I think we've evidenced that at DOE by publishing these critical materials reports the last.
Right, but what about this bill that has been out there now for 3 months, this 40-page bill? If critical minerals are so important, why have you not formed an opinion one way or another that you would like to relay publicly?
When we come back, we'll bring you a sneak peek from the Arctic Winter Games, and in a partnership between Wells Fargo and the UA Museum of the North, museum fees will now be waived for military personnel and their families. We'll have those stories and much more when the weekend's only local televised newscast returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. The terrain park on the UAF campus is now open for the season, and many skiers and snowboarders were out today taking advantage of the above normal temperatures. The terrain park is open Friday through Sunday from noon to 4. The double jump and 10 rail box feature are open for use, including a dedicated beginner area with 2 boxes and a small kicker. The park is now open to the public. This season, they've made changes from last year, and that's getting more people out on the slopes.
Last year I used it once, but this is the first year that I'm planning on actually using it a lot. They expanded it, and also the season passes weren't being offered last year, so it was pretty expensive. Whereas this year, they've dropped the prices and made it a lot more reasonable, and the jumps are bigger and they have more rails.
The Arctic Winter Games are quickly approaching, and thousands are gearing up to volunteer. Ryan Middle School will be hosting an event with the Arctic Winter Games to provide a sneak peek of the events that will happen in March. The event is on February 8th from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. This year's theme is Get Your Game On, and the students will have different athletes demonstrating the unique sports of the games and will invite attendees to participate with them. Volunteers with the Arctic Winter Games expect the event to bring thousands of people from around the world to Fairbanks.
There's 9 different contingents participating in the Arctic Winter Games. They come from as far away as northern Russia, Greenland, northern Europe, and then several communities from northern Canada, and then of course Alaska. Some of the visitors will be staying at many of the hotels, so if you have visitors coming in during that week, make sure you book soon. But the athletes themselves are actually going to be staying in 6 different schools. We're converting them to an athletes village. So Lathrop, Hunter, Ryan, Denali, Barnett, and West Valley will become their home for the week.
In military news, local service members and their families can learn more about Alaskan history and culture thanks to a partnership between Wells Fargo and the UA Museum of the North. As part of the Military Appreciation Program, admission charges will be waived for all active duty military and 4 members of their immediate family. Currently, the museum is hosting an exhibit on the first successful climb of Mount McKinley, and organizers say visitors of all ages will find something interesting. Military members must show their current ID to the admissions desk before entering.
Many of these military families come from, of course they come from other places because they are stationed here, and then they come from elsewhere and go elsewhere. And I really believe the museum is the very best introduction to what Alaska is all about. And so by inviting them here, welcoming them here, having them come here, that they're learning a great deal about Alaska in a very unique way that they wouldn't learn anywhere else.
It's time once again to spotlight an agency within the United Way of the Tanana Valley. Tonight, the News Center's Mike Schultz focuses on the Fairbanks Resource Agency.
The Fairbanks Resource Agency, or FRA, has been around for 46 years. It is a community-based, not-for-profit organization dedicated to providing support and services for individuals with disability and their family or caregiver. Emily Ennis is the executive director for FRA and says the United Way has a tremendous impact on their agency.
It's been a tremendous impact. United Way has provided so many opportunities for us to develop new programs, to support programs that perhaps aren't fully funded, and to test drive pilot projects to see if they work. And today we have the Adult Day Center, we have in-home respite care, in-home chore services. We provide care coordination, which helps seniors connect with all those needed services. We have a National Family Caregiver Program that helps the caregivers of seniors who are staying at home. And we have a SOAR program that works with businesses around town, helping them identify seniors who may need some extra support.
During her time with FRA, what has been the most fulfilling and rewarding moment she has experienced?
I definitely believe it's providing the opportunity for adults who have significant disabilities to have a full life in our community. And I think most of all to contribute back to the community. Not only are they participating fully as a citizen, but in many cases they are volunteering, and I will say over 100 individuals with disabilities are on FRA's payroll. and the majority of them contribute to United Way each and every year.
The United Way annual fundraiser is nearing its end, but you can still donate to your favorite agency. And remember, all donations stay within the community. Mike Schultz, News Center 11.
Well, the 31st running of the Yukon Quest is underway, and the KTVF sports crew was downtown for the start this afternoon. Also, Nanook hockey gets a big win at home, and Hockey Week in Fairbanks invades town and with games and hockey history. Michael Ives is up next with your sports report.
Hello and welcome back, Alaska. Michael Ives here with your Saturday sports. Well, this weekend in sports has gone to the dogs, literally. And we start with the athletes and their mushers of the 31st running of the Yukon Quest. 18 racers and their teams departed from 2nd Avenue in downtown Fairbanks today to kick off the 1,000-mile Yukon Quest. With a large crowd on hand, the excitement of the journey ahead could be felt from mushers, dogs, and fans alike. The initial leg of the race will take them 73 miles to the Two Rivers checkpoint. Norman Cassavant would be the first out of the starting gate as the trek towards the $22,000 title purse begins. He pumps up the crowd and takes off down the chute. Then Eureka, Alaska's Brent Sass, last year's third-place finisher and 3-time Quest Sportsmanship Award winner, gives a smooch to his lead dogs, and they're off. Love is love, man. Defending Quest champion Alan Moore would take off in the number 8 bib, and quickly the whole field was headed down the trails. Moore won last year's shortened course by finishing in 8 days, 19 hours, and 39 minutes. From this downtown start, it will take the teams about 8 to 13 hours to hit the Two Rivers stop, and Moore says it's time to see how ready for this extreme journey they really are.
All the preparation and everything that's been taking place the last 4 or 5 months comes to a head now, so it's kind of exciting to get out on the trail and see how training went for us, because we'll know shortly.
With the Quest mushers off and pushing, we turn to another group of athletes looking to not get left behind the pack. Alaska Nanook Hockey hosts the WCHA's last place team, the Alabama Huntsville Chargers, at the Carlson Center this weekend. And the Nanooks got a huge win in Game 1 of the series last night as they look to resurrect themselves from the bottom of the WCHA and into some prime playoff position. Alaska jumps on the visiting Chargers early as junior Jared Larson buries a backhander glove side on Chargers keeper Matt LaRose. And the student section gets hyped just in time for a second tally as first liner Marcus Bassara deposits a Cody Kunick feed for a 2-0 Nanook lead. The Chargers finally find some juice and make it 2-1 heading into the second period of play. However, from there on out, it was all Nanooks. Jared Linnell with the effort in front of the net, and he gets his first career goal as a Nanook, making it 3-1 in the second. Congrats to the North Pole kid. Garrick Perry gets in on the scoring with a redirect past LaRose, and it's a 2-goal Nanook lead. Then Tyler Morley finds defensiveman Colton Pareko, who just rifles one from about 10 feet out that blows past LaRose's glove. 5-1 Alaska, and they would add a final goal by the captain, senior Colton Beck, for a 6-1 win and 2 more points in the WCHA standings. The Nanooks are now tied for 7th in the conference with a chance to move all the way up to 5th pending tonight's contests. Alaska hosts the Chargers for the second game of this weekend set tonight at the Carlson Center. Now, along with some great local hockey, we have a special treat in the interior this week as Hockey Week in Fairbanks showcases the sport to our community. The traveling exhibition drew crowds at the Carlson Center as fans were able to see memorabilia from some of hockey's greatest athletes. The display includes some prized NHL trophies like the Norris Trophy, awarded to the NHL's top defenseman, and the Calder Trophy, handed out to the NHL's Rookie of the Year. You can also try your hand at hockey-themed games like the puck control platform and the slapshot speed and accuracy booth. The showcase will be available for viewing again tonight at the Carlson Center and will move to the Big Dipper for Ice Dogs action next weekend. Now, Hockey Week continues through Sunday, February the 7th, with many diverse events, games, and viewings. For a full schedule of the Hockey Week activities, you can go to hockeyweekinfairbanks.com. Now, you can call me a nerd, or maybe I'm just a child of the Bill Nye generation, but the science behind sports has always been fascinating to me. With the Sochi Winter Olympics opening ceremonies less than a week away, we're going to begin a series called Science of the Olympics to see if science truly does rule. For round one, we look at something Alaskans know pretty well: snow.
It's the hard-packed launching pad for snowboarders, the slick racing track of cross-country athletes, and the speedy slope for downhill skiers.
The snow conditions are huge. Some races you'll have really icy conditions, some races are soft.
The science of snow, how it's formed and how it reacts, has been studied by scientists for centuries and continues to this day.
Snow is the crystallized form, the solid form of water, but that is formed in the atmosphere so that it is able to take on a unique crystal structure.
Snow is a form of precipitation that begins as tiny liquid water droplets in the clouds.
As they accrete and freeze, they'll grow outwards in that pattern.
Snowflakes come in many different shapes and sizes.
The kind of stereotypical snowflake that we're used to, those beautiful six-fold symmetric crystals, those are called dendrites.
The size and shape of snowflakes is determined by two important variables: humidity and temperature.
Dendrites form under conditions where you have a lot of water vapor. If you have less water vapor, you get much simpler shapes, small plates, small columns.
Though tiny, soft, and delicate, snow becomes the ultimate playing surface upon which Olympic dreams are made.
KTVF will be bringing you more on the Olympic science in action as we prepare for and get into the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics. You can also find the full collection of science and engineering of the 2014 Olympic Winter Games, stories right on NBCLearn.com and science360.gov. And we would be amiss not to mention the Super Bowl coming up tomorrow. This matchup features the NFL's top defense in the Seattle Seahawks against the best offense in the league, the Denver Broncos. Who's going to be this year's champion? I'll let you pick. For more KTVF sports, you can log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, or download our mobile app. Keep on keeping on, Alaska. Holly Seiler is up next with your full weather forecast. And enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow, and we'll see you right back here on Monday with the full weekend sports recap with my man, Joe Cook. Have a good one, everyone.
So with a lot of other people in the town this morning, you were out at the start of the Yukon Quest.
Absolutely. We got out there nice and early, myself and Joe down there, along with media people from all over the nation, it seemed like. And it was a little cold, believe it or not. The temperature said it was warm, but my fingers said it was cold.
Different story.
Yeah, I do got to say thank you to the people of Fairbanks because there was a huge crowd out there, and it was awesome to see the support for those mushers.
Nice. Well, it is record temperatures even for February, so we're going to get right into that right now. Here's the almanac for the first day in February. It shows a normal high of 3 degrees and a normal low of 16 below. The record high was set in 1940 at 43 degrees and the record low of almost 60 degrees below zero, reminding us that things could always be worse, was set in 1910. The sun rose this morning at 9:35 a.m. and will set tonight at 4:35 p.m. It's going to give us exactly 7 hours of daylight and 6 minute, 7 hours of daylight, a 6-minute gain since yesterday. Here is weather around our great state today. Barrow is cloudy, Fort Yukon is mostly cloudy, and Nome is looking up to passing clouds. It's partly cloudy in Fairbanks today and sunny in Healy with some light wind. Juneau is clear and Ketchikan is mostly sunny. Flurries are expected in Bethel with light wind. Coal Bay will also see some scattered flurries. It's cloudy in Kodiak and partly cloudy in Homer. It's also cloudy in Valdez. Anchorage is in an active dense fog advisory that will continue into tomorrow, a high in the 20s for them. On to our friends in the lower 48. Seattle will see temperatures drop throughout the weekend with scattered snow showers expected, a high in the high 40s there. It's sunny in Las Vegas with highs in the low 50s. Snow showers are falling on Denver with highs in the low 20s. There's an active wind chill advisory for Minneapolis with partly cloudy skies and highs in the low 20s. Atlanta is cloudy with rain showers expected, highs in the high 50s for them. It's partly cloudy in New York with highs in the mid 40s, and Miami is all sunshine and clouds, a high in the low 80s. Back in Alaska, sunny skies are expected in both Fort Yukon and Barrow tomorrow, while Nome will see clear skies. It'll be another partly cloudy day in Fairbanks tomorrow. Healy will look up to mostly cloudy skies, and Delta is expected to be clear. Sunny skies are moving over Juneau tomorrow, while Ketchikan will be clear, highs in the 30s for both areas. Varying clouds in southwest Alaska tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies in Bethel and partly cloudy skies in Cold Bay. Clear skies are expected in Kodiak. And Anchorage will continue its dense fog advisory into Monday, while Valdez will see clear skies. Homer is expected to be mostly cloudy with some light wind. Partly cloudy skies are expected for us tonight with some light wind and overnight low of 2 degrees, and that will really just continue into tomorrow with partly cloudy skies expected and light winds are possible. A high of 11 degrees with overnight lows Sunday night falling around 5 degrees. I know we're all focused on the Super Bowl tomorrow, but it is also Groundhog's Day, and according to folklore, if it is cloudy, then we will see the groundhog and spring will come early, but if it's sunny, then the groundhog will see its shadow and retreat, giving us 6 more weeks of winter. Right now, it's not looking like a great day in Punxsutawney, so that only means good news for us. And speaking of good news for us, I think we are relatively lucky to be starting out February the way we are. We'll start off Monday in the double digits with partly cloudy skies that will continue into Wednesday when we will drop a bit. Thursday, we're going to expect some snow, and we'll round out the week on Friday with partly cloudy skies. Single-digit negative overnight lows until I see you here next Saturday. So really great for February. Even though it feels cold, I think it's just because it was so warm these last couple weeks.
Yeah, your body kind of adjusts to it. We got spoiled a little bit.
We did get spoiled a little bit.
See, that was a great picture of Punxsutawney
I
Phil.
mean, he's kind of cute, right?
I'm going to blame Peyton Manning for making us forget about Punxsutawney Phil. Come on. Man, Groundhog's Day, that's awesome.
That's going to wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're really glad you could join us.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.